This opera has been talked about and has been written and composed over a long period of time. And so it's a moment of engagement with a crucial component of the opera in its production here in Norfolk, which is the children of local schools. So there's a lovely sense of getting into action. There's something, of course, quite odd and potentially enormously rewarding about making a Nelson opera for people who've grown up with virtually every local pub being called the Hero or the Norfolk Herald or the Nelson, and who know bits and pieces about Nelson already, so that this is simply more spokes to the same hub in a way.
I would hesitate to call it an opera because it isn't really an opera, but it's the first. I've composed a ballet before, so it's not the first stage work I've done, but it's the first. It's the nearest thing to an opera that I've done, so in a sense it is a first.
We've sort of looked at various contrasts with the man. He seems always to have been looking for love. Well, aren't we all? But love in the sense of motherly affection, because his mother died when he was so young.
Thanks.
And love in the sense of passionate sexual gratification, and a full emotional relationship, which he never achieved with his wife, Fanny. And I think, in a way, the opera, very briefly and lightly, is exploring different... Don't you?
And he was both self-effacing and very genuine, but also liked a bit of adulation. He was his authority with crews derived from the fact that he was one of them. I mean, he was obviously a very modest, had a modest side and would be in there. He wouldn't expect anyone to do anything that he wasn't able and willing to do.
It's interesting, this set of oppositions, because also he was very frail, or relatively frail, and yet absolutely fearless.
Came through it.
And I think you're dead right that he was loved by his crews because he mucked in there. Hey, he was a Norfolk man, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, creatures. It's very good to see you all. And this is the next stage in the great Nelson project that we're all involved in. Today's part in this is a long way back from the starting point, really, of the production of the opera itself. It's a writing workshop, and I want you to listen very carefully indeed to a very short, not story, but sort of description that I've written here for myself and for you. And this is how it goes. There was once a sailing ship sailing out to meet the enemy. She was way out at sea, out of sight of land. A storm blew up. Lightning, thunder, blasts of wind. The sailors were scrambling to take down sails. The captain pointed to the cabin boy and told him to go up the mast and take down the topsail. The boy grabbed the ratline and began to climb the mast, and the ship was tossing and all around him sails were flapping. The mast creaked and groaned. Was it going to snap? The boy reached the topsail and he secured it. Then the boy looked out. And what did he see?
Don't worry about making mistakes, just go for it, yes? Scribble, whatever.
The story is now yours. I can't do anything more about it. It's up to you to imagine and to write lovely, clean, sharp, kicking English. I don't mean long words for long words' sake. I mean the right word. And let's have the real sounds and smells and tastes and the feel. Think of that mast. Think of the ratline. Have you ever held rope between your hands and so on? Okay? It is 1:15 and I'm going to give you 15 minutes.
Is that how you spell captain?
I hope I've made it absolutely clear that you're just responsible for writing one part of the story.
Terrified is about our feelings. What would we be hearing as we went out?
Go on.
Go on.
He just wants get killed, because if you go drop into the sea will carry you into
Yes.
the boat.
Oh, yes.
And what do you see on the tops of waves? What does that look like?
Foam.
Foam, yes? What does it sound like?
What's the mast going to be doing in a storm on the ship? It's going to be swaying around.
We could always change it. Yeah, we could. We've still got the band.
If we think of a better word.
It's fascinating how quickly they'll take the ball and run with it. And 2 minutes after you've thrown them an idea, I don't think adults could cope with this kind of speed with things. Sit and look at a piece of blank paper for a long while and twiddle your thumbs, but straight into action, recognizing the situation and the drama of it. So good start.
I am the ship, as old as I may be, but loyal to my captains when I cross the sea. My polished timber shining, as new as ever. My sound when I cross the sea is loud and mighty. The storm above is tough, but I will keep battling. As I stand firm, it rips my sails, trying to wreck me.
I am the sea, my waves crashing against the jagged teeth like rocks. My icy cold water is like sharp daggers, splintering into the sand.
I can see the shape of a ship in the mist. With the help of the storm, I will lure the ship to the pointed rocks where it will meet its doom.
Shape of the ship. Lovely, you're getting some of the music into the language there.
I am the storm that tosses up ships, that makes the sea rumble like exploding volcanoes. I have stabbing yellow fingers. I change shapes and sizes, growling of the wind like a vicious dog protecting its grounds. I send shivers down your spine as I trample over your grave. You may think of me as a body rotting for years in a dark, dingy dungeon.
We are the sailors, terrified pain, crashing waves, booming deep. Whipping ropes, lashing ropes, smacking against you. Stormy, ship plummeting up and down. Men have been blasted overboard. Wood cracking, snapping, flag shredding. Smell of fish coming overboard, making you sick. Water flooding on board, stowaway rats coming from under deck. Hailstones smacking your back.
I'm the captain. I'm strong and robust. I'm in charge of these brave men. I expect the best out of them. We are charging into battle, ready to win the fight. Inside I'm scared, but confident. But we will win.
He feels afraid, seasick, regretting coming on the ship. Don't want to disobey Captain. Would he fall off the mast, missing being on land, worrying if he will survive? People on the ship looking like ants, seeing crashing waves, sea playing tricks on his mind, getting hit by ropes and sails. The rain stinging his face and body, seeing double of everything. Rope bands on his hand, clothes ripping and tearing, freezing cold, heartbeat racing, gasping for air.
There's someone climbing up me again as I rock side to side. I am afraid of being snapped in half before the sails are down. I have no control, bent and stretched, twisted and winched around the boat.
I am the sea. I see the boy, ant-like, on the top of the mast. My waves will make the ship toss.
They will make him seasick. No tablets will cure it. He will be dizzy and weak. I'll make him fall.
I am the topsail, big and strong. I am the problem, I must be gone. Twirling and whirling, it's so much fun. That boy is to spoil my pride and my games. Here he is to flail me away, to pack me up and tie me away. I will not be gone for the rest of the day. I will not miss the whistling wind and the drumming rain.
I am the boy. I can see some cliffs through the mist. The wind is pulling us in. We are all doomed.
Yes. Good. Well done. So already we've got a big story in the making here. That's really good start. Really good start.
Just sing it to la da da or anything. La 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 la. When I was a child, you did lots of singing at school. We went to Sunday school, so you always sang songs in Sunday school. Scratch a generation, and my auntie would talk about them all standing around the piano with my grandmother. You know, people sang with their families because they didn't have anything, or they didn't have so many other things to do. People just don't sing together now, apart from in football crowds, where they do it fabulously. But little girls don't sing in football crowds. And I think that's the problem. And in fact, little boys don't sing in football crowds. But people don't sing, and I think it's not a natural inhibition. I think it's unfamiliarity. I think it is natural to make a noise and sing together. I think it's a really important thing that we all need to do, that thing of just making a noise together. I think people need that. And it's in there. You know, it's in all of us to be unlocked. Well, imagine you walk into a room and there are three things that you like most, three of the presents, you know, whether it's a new computer or a bike or a horse or something you've really wanted, and you can't believe it. So you see the first thing, which is pretty good, maybe a big box of sweeties or something you really like. You, great, and then you see the next thing, which is even better, great, and then you see the third thing that you really, really wanted, great, and that's the best thing. Should we try that? So here we go, great. That's good. Let's do it again. And great. Good. Let's do it again. Great. Do it again. Great.
Children in the rural areas of Norfolk don't get nearly enough opportunities to come across professional standard of training. What there is very good for them, but there's just not enough of it. And the county music services can't hope to provide something for everybody on the budget that they have. So this is an extra, really, just for a small number of schools around the coast. And it seems to have been welcomed with open arms. And I'm delighted that there are so many children actually being involved at one level or another. I'm sure there's music in every child. It's just a question of touching it and giving them the opportunity. There was a wonderful example this morning when Jennifer, the director-designer, was working with the children. She was getting them to sing just simple intervals, and one boy got it absolutely perfectly right. He was then so embarrassed that it had gone well that he zipped up his mouth, and we didn't hear him again for the next 10 minutes. But you can do it, and I'm sure we're going to get there.
But I love to sing. It's one of my favourite hobbies. I just like to dance around to music. Yeah, he loves funky music. Yeah, funky music.
I like singing because it lets off my feelings and makes me feel happy.
We don't really get enough time to do singing, and we only have half an hour in choir practice, and that really isn't enough for us to learn songs and to do it properly and stuff.
Don't swamp him. He's feeling a little bit anxious. He doesn't want to. He's a bit overawed by you all. But they're quite normal. How normal are you guys? Are you normal or are you normal? Normal. Really regular guys. So, do you want to go and sit there with them? Come on, who's going to look after him? All right, Tobin will look after you. Come and sit with Tobin. This is Tobin. This is Nicky. Do you want to come and join in with the choir? Make some new boyfriends? Oh, come on. Come on, lads. Make them wear some chairs.
There's tons of them up there. Made to partner Stravinsky's Soldier's Tale, where the devil triumphs and the soldier loses his violin in the end. The Sailor's Tale is rather different, but it's based on the character of Nelson, and we see little glimpses of how Nelson was in his relationship with Lady Hamilton, with his wife, with his father, who was the rector of Burnham Thorpe, and you see him in war mode commanding ships, and this is where the children come in there on deck doing a bit of sea shanty type of work.
voices.
We have had a slight problem that the children's songs are very difficult for untrained voices to sing. One of them is actually super. I think it's going to be a big success. But the ones that are slightly more vague, the untrained voices have a job to pitch them. So with Joyce's kinder choir, they're having a learning session on some of the kids that we've got, and we'll just see where we're. So it's a start anyway. But they've not got long now. You know, we're measuring it in time in terms of weeks now to the beginning of July.
Big breath. Breathe now.
We're taking bookings.